If you're a self-funded business owner, here are 3 reasons why you never have time to have any outstanding experiences. So if you resonate with the content today, by the way, I would love for you to learn more at my upcoming webinar, which I'm offering at the end of this month, 25th of January. Link is down below. And also make sure to hit the like button if you're watching this as a video. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, I'd really appreciate a review left behind so that the person listening in also learns about what you thought about it, because that all makes a difference to the message I'm trying to spread for women in business. All right, so 3 reasons why women in business, especially ones that are self-funded, you had to actually fork it out of your own pocket. Nobody gave you a loan. You didn't have any sugar daddies or grandfathers or, yeah, you get the picture. That you actually put your all in, and you really want to see yourself succeed. And success to you means that you're having outstanding experiences, and your life has improved. And this is why you will never have those, because of these 3 main reasons that I have noticed from seeing my clients and, of course, my own experiences as well. These are the things that I had to stop doing, which is what I wanted you to do, so that you can also have outstanding experiences and live the life that you actually plan to live because you became your own boss. Ready? So, reason number 1 that you will never have time for these outstanding, amazing experiences is because you lack a compelling vision for yourself. Okay? So, when I ask my clients, and I have asked this, and the first thing that I ask is that what would make you really happy? What really matters to you? What would you like to see yourself achieve, right? And so they'll make a list about this whole holiday house, car, financial security, and all of that, right? And what that tells me is that they are telling me what I really want to hear. Like, who is ever going to say to you, if you ask them the question, oh, what do you really want when you want to, when you're successful? They're not going to share with you anything that is not the normal thing to say, isn't it? Like, everybody wants really, really big things. But Paul McKenna, positive psychologist and also a well-known hypnotherapist, and Remy Pearson, they're all experts in human behavior and psychology. And what they say is that we have an outer self and an inner self, true self, okay? And there's a model that I teach in the Empowered You program, which talks about this, about discovering your true self, your core self. But the outer self will say things like this, will go for things like this, because these things are necessary to feel successful, to experience success. Yes, you are successful if you have a beach house and you're going on holidays and you're able to afford things and all of that. That is the external you, right? The outer you, which helps you have a better quality life. But the inner you is the you that is the spiritual you, your core you, your self-esteem you, the one that you take care of every single day to be able to show up as your best self, to create that dream life that you're going for. So it's really rare for people to talk about this part of themselves unless they are guided. So this is something that I want you to consider, that is this something that you're aware of? Do you know what kind of a day you would be having when you are successful? What do you wake up thinking about? What do you lay awake at night thinking about? Who are you talking with? Who are you hanging around with? What sort of conversations are you having in your day? What are you wearing? How are you eating? What sort of emotions are you feeling when you're going through certain things, So in your day-to-day life, how are you being? That is the kind of question that forms your compelling vision for yourself. So it's the external as well as the internal, which is the core, the true self, and the outer self. They both have to work together to have formulated a compelling vision for ourselves. So my question to you is, do you know how your inner self would like to live? And does it match with your outer vision too? The main message here is, when you want to have an extraordinary experience, an outstanding experience as a woman, you are conditioned from the time you're coming into this world to be a people pleaser. You're always accommodating others. So therefore, you must have a clear, compelling vision that you will be happy and pleased about having for yourself. Okay? It is not enough for you to go after material well-being only if you haven't really looked after your inner well-being as well. But the two must also connect. So it's an inner quest and outer quest that you must have to be able to feel fulfilled every single day. Reason number 2, saying yes to other people's urgencies is one of those things that will take away your chance to have outstanding experiences. Now, you've invested all of this money into your own life and business, and you're waiting for your crops to harvest. But right now, you're glued to your phone all the time because you don't want to be looked at as someone that doesn't support others, right? So you're always glued to the phone, checking for missed calls, texts, WhatsApp messages, Telegram posts, the Facebook group posts, pages, business calls, etc., etc. It's like you're constantly checking your phone. That is one big problem. The reason is that says you actually don't have any boundaries on your time. So when you lose this habit, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start honoring your personal boundaries, and you're going to have all sorts of amazing outcomes from that. And what that will mean is that other people will start taking care of their own needs. Other people will start to show you respect for your time. Because if you're always available, no one's going to care about your time. They're always going to think you're always there, right? And you will allow yourself to have the opportunity to do more for yourself in that time. Give it a try. Now, simply think of time like money. This is something that one of my yoga teachers had said about my energy, right? Think of it like your bank account. So simply think of your time as money. By stopping to spend it on willy-nilly things, you're going to be able to afford quality things, right? And the same thing works with your bandwidth in your brain capacity. The more you look at your phone, the more bandwidth you spend. So you need to stop overstimulating yourself and reserve your energy for things that really matter. Now, sometimes you don't really know what matters today, and that's probably why you're acting out of boredom. Maybe you're actually just bored, and so you start scrolling. But that's going to cost you energy. That's going to cost you time. By not using that time toward your own projects, your own endeavors, your own business, you're actually spending it on somebody else's. So just be mindful of that. That is one of the reasons why you won't be creating your own outstanding experiences this year. You can watch a video that I made actually called Organization for Your Life, Part 1 and 2. It's linked above. If you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on a podcast, then head over to the YouTube channel and you'll find these videos on organizations, Part 1 and Part 2. Yeah, and you'll find that I talk about how to say more no and to say yes, but also give you some tactical strategies to allow yourself to free yourself up of time and raise your worth and your time's worth so that you start to value yourself more. Reason number 3 is you're always busy putting out fires. So what this means is that you love solving problems. It gives you a high. And are you a big problem solver? And do you get high from it? Because that's completely natural. Solving problems gives us a sense of significance, and of course, it's actually going to make our life better. So if we solve the problem, wow, we feel significant, and that really gives us a self-esteem boost. But how we have to understand problems is when you own a business, a problem is a goal. A goal is very different to how you perceive a problem, isn't it? So a problem is something that's actually there to help you grow. If you see the same problem showing up over and over again, like you have a leaky roof, right? And you band-aid it, is that going to fix the problem? Probably not, because the band-aid's going to rip through over a course of time, and then again you'll have a leaky roof. So instead of trying to just patch up the leak, you need to look at how you can replace the roof. Okay, so this is a journey that you must take in part of your growth journey. You have to look at what happens after this, right? Instead of thinking right now, what happens after I've fixed this problem? Maybe you've got a problem like you're not getting enough clients every month to break even, right? And what you're trying to do all the time is focused on, well, did I sell these many passes? Did I sell, the 6 passes that I was meant to sell so that I could make this money for the month? Instead of thinking about the month, have you thought about the whole year? Is there an experience that you can give to the clients for the whole year that will cover your rent too? Now that takes a little bit of maturity and planning to do, but until you see that when the quality of your problems are so small that you're actually stuck at putting fires out, and that's why you stay stuck in a rut, your time gets consumed by smaller level problems. And so what tends to happen is you never grow out of them. You actually just keep yourself busy at that level. So how do you fix that? How do we fix that is through sitting down and asking yourself, well, when will it be time for you to actually graduate from this level of problems? And what sort of problems do you want to be solving, right? What sort of problems would the successful version of you have versus the one that you're facing right now? If your time is getting chewed up by, very ordinary experiences like, oh, this doesn't work, or I don't get up early in the morning, or I miss the bus again, and all of these are the really small level problems. And just because you get up on time and you're telling yourself, wow, you've done a great job and whatnot, I'm just giving you really ordinary experiential problems. But honestly, every level requires a new devil, right? From you. You need to rise to the occasion. You need to rise to the next level. If you're trying to create the next level experience for yourself, your life and business, then you need to actually level up in your behavior and ability to solve bigger problems. So how are you thinking about this? I want you to comment below or leave a comment to say what you're thinking about this. What sort of problems are you stuck at the moment? Maybe I can make some videos to help you with that, So give me some ideas about what sort of problems are you stuck at, and maybe I can bring over some ideas on how you can up level out of that problem. An example that I can give you about this is, back in the day when I basically lived paycheck to paycheck, and I'm using those terms loosely because I don't know how else to say it faster. So when I was living paycheck to paycheck meant I didn't have a plan for my money, and I didn't have the skill to save, right? And I didn't think about it because to me, all I thought about was making more money. And the reason why I thought about that all the time is because I was always thinking about the temporary, which is like, I don't have any money, right? And I always want more money. But what that kept me at is always lacking money. But once I up-leveled, I started to learn how to save money. And why? That's because the successful version of me would have money systems in place, right? And so when there's a money system in place, I have different habits to go along with that. And that habit meant that as soon as money comes in, it gets distributed And part of it is saved, part of it is invested, part of it is spent on things, part of it is, just left behind and just for nothing or splurged, right? So short-term thinking versus long-term thinking yield different results in us, right? It's who we start becoming as a result of them when we are starting to think of short-term gratification like, oh, this is on sale, I'll buy that, right? Oh, I just gave myself a little bit of a high, but guess what? I just spent money for no reason, because if I just kept that and put it towards something that meant something, that would have better value in my life, and that would equate to an outstanding experience versus an ordinary experience. So when you are looking at putting small fires out, ask yourself, is this the problem that I want to be solving for the rest of this year? Or do I want to graduate from this problem? Do I want to up level? Because your level of problem is saying a lot about the level you're playing at. And if you don't think that problem is up to the level that you should be playing at, then you need to challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself with bigger goals, bigger strategies, right? You need to challenge yourself to grow out of them. Another example is, if you don't think like a leader, then you're going to just be the follower, aren't you? Automatically. Like the E-Myth example that I used last week was, if you didn't, if you're the manager versus the technician, what happens? The technician is never happy. They're always quick to act. That's their job. But when you are the manager, you think before you act, right? So short-term fires means that you're looking for instant gratification versus long-term gratification or delayed gratification will yield different version of you. So my friend, those are the 3 reasons that you're going to never have time. And I'd love you to do something about that, because this year, I want you to succeed. I want you to go after what it is that you have dreamt of. Don't feel discouraged by smaller thinking. I want you to shift beyond the smaller problems that you're facing by upgrading your thinking. And I hope this podcast or video has helped you think outside of the box you're in currently. Also, I'm hosting this webinar at the end of this month that I'd love for you to attend if you found this content useful, where I'm going to help you figure out how to make quick progress this year. And I'd love for you to attend. Click the link below and come and learn more.